Well, after 4 weeks of disappointment, I think it's safe to say that Big Brother 21 is officially dead.
Don't change the channel, don't touch that dial. We got it all on UHF. Take off your sneakers.
Hey guys, it's Kevin review for this week of Big Brother 21, episodes 12 through 14, and going into this week, I was a little bit interested in what was going to happen. I was very happy that we were done with Camp Comeback. You know, I'm happy that we're moving away from that, and now people actually get to leave the game. We'll start to see some bigger moves being made. I was really hoping we'd get to see that, and this week was another disappointment. And you know what, guys? Like I said in the beginning of this intro, this week pretty much told me that this season's not getting any better. There's no saving it. This season is a huge, huge dud. It's bad. It's a bad season, and I think we just need to accept that. And I hate saying that because there's seasons of Big Brother that have started out good, and then they get progressively worse as they go on. But then there are seasons that have started out bad, and then they get a little bit better. I don't think that's going to be the case with this season. I think this is just... I think we just have to accept this season's not getting any better. There's really no saving it, and this week very much does show it. And because of that, I'm just not going to be as tough on this season as I have with others, because I'm just expecting it to be bad at this point. Anything bad this season is just to be expected to me. So you're not going to see me as enraged solely because it's what's expected at this point. And I know it's sad to get to that point, but... I'm just getting numb. I'm becoming numb of this season because it's already been so bad, and I just feel it's gonna get worse as it goes on, and I'm just expecting it to get worse, pretty much. So, if it does, I just won't be surprised. So, again, understand that I'm not at all happy with this season, but the reason why I might not be as angry as I was, like, in last week's is because I'm just expecting it to turn out that way. And, yeah, so anyways, let's just get into it. The way this week started off was actually pretty promising. I was liking where we were headed at first, because basically we head into Sunday night's episode, and right off the bat, pretty much Nick and Bella are pissed about what has happened. All of the 6 are very much against them, and you know, considering that Nick and Bella ostracized Nicole in that way, they kind of deserve what happened to them. They kind of deserve the fact that, you know, they were abandoned by their alliance. So they're kind of just sitting ducks at this point. They're very much on their own. Everyone really wants to target them. And, you know, now that they are no longer in power, they are very adamant about, you know, doing what they can to get them out of the house. You know, no matter what they do, they are focusing on getting Nick and Bella out of there. And I really did like seeing that. As I said, I think Nick very much sabotaged his game last week. He did absolutely nothing to put the target off himself. If anything, he increased the target. And Bella is even worse. I mean, there really was no saving them this week. So I kind of like that they got what's coming to them here. But easily the best stuff of this week involves Cliff, who after winning the Cam comeback, he goes on to win the HOH, which I was very surprised about. I was not in a million years expecting Cliff to actually win this HOH. I mean, how often does that happen? Someone comes back in the house and then they immediately win HOH? It's crazy, and especially considering that he's 50 years old, and the fact that he's beating all of them is just incredible to see, and I think he definitely showed his cards. At first, he did at least very well here. He makes it very clear that he is going to make a big move. He's going to go after the people that did target him last week, the people that definitely did want him out, and of course, that's all of the 6 shooters, who I have to say did a horrible job at first, I think, of trying to get Cliff on their side. I mean, Jackson literally volunteers himself to be a nomination, which I don't know what he's thinking here. He's part of the 6 shooters. You voted out Cliff last week. Why would you think you're safe? Why would you think that he is going to put you up and not think of you as a target? Obviously, he's going to try to come come after you. I really don't know what Jackson was thinking here. And again, this just reinforces the idea that Jackson is just playing a horrible social game. I don't think anything he's doing is for his best interest. He seems to be, look, I kind of get what he's trying to do. He's trying to get on everyone's good side. He's trying to get everyone's trust, but there's a way to do it that Jackson is just not understanding, and volunteering yourself to go on the block is not the way to do that. Here's what Jackson should do. He should think, all right, who can Cliff target? Who is an actual target that Cliff can go after that he can put up? Well, he can put up someone else in the 6-shooters. You know, obviously, I understand he wants to protect his alliance, but you know, this Big Brother, again, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and that's something that Jackson, I don't think, seems to understand. He's so focused on just this one target that he won't consider that while he is in an alliance, you don't want all of that. Like, obviously, he wants to go to the M with them. At some point, you know, one of them is going to have to go. They're going to have to make some cuts and get rid of someone like a Christie. Get rid of someone like, you know, get rid of someone from that side. Just offer someone to Cliff and don't volunteer yourself, because you're kind of guaranteeing yourself, and you're running the risk of possibly going home this week. And that's not something that Jackson considered at all, and I really don't know what he was thinking there, but I'd say I did really like the way Cliff handled himself here. He tries to get this group together of like Jessica and Kat and possibly Nick and Bella as well, and basically anyone that's not in the 6-shooters, and basically tells them that, you know, they're safe, that they need to work together. If they want to take out this group, they have to stay together. They have to they have to come up with some sort of, you know, cohesive unit to go after them. And yeah, this is great. I really love what I was seeing here. I like seeing Cliff do the dirty work, and it really seemed like things were going to go down. It really seemed like he was not fucking around this time, and basically, he doesn't. He does decide to put up both Jack and Jackson. It was great. I absolutely love seeing that. I love getting to see these two just completely just blindsided in that way. I mean, obviously, they're not blindsided because, yes, they were nominated, but Jack and Jackson are both nominated here, and I was very, very happy to see that for sure, because it seemed like it was guaranteed that one of them were going home. Cliff had, definitely wanted to make a big move, and I appreciate the fact that he wanted to do something this risky. It's risky for sure, but I feel like if he, spinned it in the right way, he could get people on board with it. He could tell them, hey, Jack is someone who's very powerful here. He's going to get to the end. We need to take him out before he can go further. And that's how you get him out. Or you say the same with Jackson. There was definitely something that Cliff could have done here to get one of them to go on the block. And it seemed like that, to get one of them to go home. And it very much seemed like that's what he was going to do here, that he was doing what he can to try to get them out. And I was really enjoying what I was seeing here at first. And like I said, I was really liking where it was going, and then it just plummeted and literally fell off a cliff. This season, what happens on Wednesday night's episode, I think completely defines what this season is. It's just the season of disappointment. It's the season of disappointment. It's the season of uneventfulness, and that's exactly what we get here, because obviously Cliff has made it very clear that he wants to go after Jack and Jackson. He does not seem like he wants to do anything to take them off the block. He wants to go after them because, and good, for good reason, they targeted him. There was a very good reason as to why, and he doesn't really feel like, it's a good idea to keep them in there. So he's putting them up. But of course, we still got to deal with Christie, who, oh my god, again, I really don't like Christie at all. I've gone on long about enough, but I really don't like her, who, once again, she's going to Cliff, tells him straight up about her power, exactly what it does, all that stuff. So Cliff realizes, this is going to be a problem, maybe I got to do something about this. So she offers him this proposal that basically, if he takes down, someone, that is on the block. You know, if he takes one of them down and puts Bella as a replacement nominee, then he will be safe for like 6 weeks, and maybe, you know, he'll be able to get out of this scot-free. They won't be targeting him and things like that, and Cliff seemingly agrees to it. Now, I was hoping, this is what I was hoping, that Cliff was playing her, that Cliff wasn't actually feeling this way, that he actually was planning on putting someone else up. But either way, we go to the veto, and the veto itself was a very interesting one. It involved, like, it seemed very simple. It was just like you had to take off all these clothes and just hit the timer. Like, it was a very easy veto, but Jackson ends up winning this veto. I did find it pretty funny that Jack was so adamant about winning the veto and then came in, like, last place. I found that hilarious. Also, Jack does decide to use his chaos power here, and it is the lamest thing possible. It's literally just because Sam was picked, and he doesn't want Sam to win the veto, and then Sam is picked anyway. Even though he was upset that Sam was picked, Sam is picked anyway, and the other people that are chosen are people that he doesn't really feel all that comfortable with either, so this was a complete fail. And again, Jack, I guess, is a really good actor, because there is no possible way you can look at this power and think this is a great advantage. This was a dud from the start, and it was even lamer getting to see it play out. So yeah, I mean, I just find it hilarious that Jack thought this was going to be the thing that could single-handedly save him, and it didn't at all, which I think was pretty funny. But again, Jackson ends up winning the veto here, and so, yeah, at this point, Jackson, he's going to use the veto. He wants Christie to use her power, however, she doesn't want to waste it, which, honestly, I don't really understand why. Like, again, I don't like Christie, but I don't really understand why she wouldn't want to use it this week. I mean, Jackson, he's not going to put up someone in their alliance. Why doesn't she just use it this week? You know, that way she can make sure that the person they want to go home is who goes home. Cliff does not have to, you know, Cliff doesn't really have that power, and they're able to still control it this week. I wouldn't like it if that happened, but, you know, logically, it makes sense. But I mean, this is Christie we're talking about. Not exactly a logical person. She's so bipolar. She doesn't seem to have any clear idea of what she wants to do. She freaks out over the littlest of things, and that's no different here. You know, she just gets cold feet. She makes this agreement with Cliff, and I was really hoping that Cliff would not honor this deal, and he absolutely does. He decides to put Bella on the block, and yeah, so now, even though Nick and Bella were very adamant about telling him, like, we are with you, we are not going to turn against you, Cliff decides to put them up. I'm gonna contradict myself real hard right now, but what the fuck, Cliff? Seriously, I don't know what he was thinking here, and I've heard a lot of people say, oh, this was not that bad of a move. You know, Cliff would have left anyway last week. If Cliff had not, you know, agreed to this, he would have absolutely been the #1 target, and he would be leaving next week. And sure, that's all fine and done, but either way, Cliff still would have made a big impact on the house, and you don't necessarily know what could have happened. By taking Jack out of the equation, if he actually was able to get Jack out, then I think this actually could have worked really well. And here's the thing. You're wondering, okay, well, what about Christie's power? Well, how does he do that? I don't know. Let's put Christie on the block. You know what he should have done? Jack, you know, he says he makes it seem like he's going to put up Bella, and then he puts up Christie. And then that way you are ensuring yourself that someone from that other side goes home. You are making sure that Nick and Bella are on your side, because they clearly are vulnerable right now. They need allies. They don't have anyone in the house except Sam. So Cliff could have easily done something where he tells Nick and Bella what's going on, he uses the power, you know, he decides to blatantly lie and put up Christie, and then he's fine. And I don't understand why he needed to honor this deal. I don't really think this is going to help him at all. Sure, it'll keep him safe for 2 weeks, but I mean, it's 1 extra week than when he was initially targeted. I can guarantee you, once jury starts, Cliff's out. Cliff is gone after that point. Once Julie announces that, like, the jury has started, I do not see Cliff's lifespan going in this house all that longer. He has proven that he is someone who is just not willing to make that big move. He doesn't want to take that shot, even though he initially was. He didn't for some reason, and I just don't understand why. And again, I get it that he wanted to stay truthful. He wanted that safety, but I don't even think that the 6 shooters are gonna have his best interest. Eventually, they're gonna target him. Eventually, you know, he's not in their alliance right now, and if he were to take someone out from their alliance, suddenly they are not as powerful because Jack is gone. Jack is the one who's controlling a lot of this. And yes, Jackson is too, but if Jack's gone, Jackson suddenly has to play a much different game. We've already seen Jackson is terrible at playing a social game. He's awful at it. I mean, Kat literally tried to vote him out, like at eviction night. She literally tried to vote him out even though he wasn't on the block. That's how much people are not liking Jackson right now. So yeah, Jackson absolutely would not be as good. So I feel like Cliff absolutely should have just not honored this deal at all. Put up Christie, put up Tommy, put up literally anyone else in that alliance. Not Nick and Bella, who I really do think could have worked with him. And I do think actually would have protected Cliff because again, they didn't have anyone else besides Sam. This actually could have gone in Cliff's favor, but that's not the case. He chickened out, and unfortunately what we're left with is a very, very predictable week. And really on Thursday, there's not really a lot to talk about here. It's fairly predictable. Bella's trying to gain allies. It seems like for a split second, she'll actually get Nicole on board as she's realized the error of her ways. But as we like to say in Big Brother terminology, she's a day late and a dollar short. And unfortunately, there's no recovering from that. Even though it seems that Nicole is on her side. And I do genuinely think that Bella knows she fucked up. Knows that she tarnished that relationship. But I think she's trying to do what she can to fix it. The problem is, what's done is done, and I don't think Bella realizes the severity of that situation, how integral that relationship was to keeping her in the house. Remember, that whole thing with Nicole last week was Nicole trying to tell Bella that, hey, people are coming after you. You might want to do something about that. You might want to take a shot from that side. Just ensuring her that she's not safe with them right now. She chose to believe her alliance over Nicole. I don't know why she did, but for some reason, she chose to believe them. And, of course, that's why things turned out the way they did for her this week. And, unfortunately, there is no way of coming back from that. I really was kind of hoping that Bella... I was really hoping there'd be a situation where, like, you know, Jack stirs up some chaos, or he starts saying something that really eggs people on. People are realizing, oh, we really need to get Jack out, and I was really hoping that was going to happen, and unfortunately it doesn't. Bella goes home almost unanimously. No one really votes for Jack except for Katz and a couple other people, but it really is almost unanimous, and Bella leaves. And look, am I happy to see Bella go? Look, hypothetically, I should, because I do think Bella's kind of trashy. I don't like her at all. Like I said, I think she was extremely nasty to Nicole, but it appears she does feel genuine sorrow. It appears that she was at a place where she was trying to move past it. She was trying to gain those allies, and I do not think that she should have gone home this week. And I especially do not think that on Cliff's HOH, he should have gone out Bella. That's just not at all what he should have done. This is someone he could have worked with. He could have worked with Nick and Bella and Sam, but unfortunately, he chose not to. He, for some reason, thought a 6-person alliance would somehow protect him, which I don't understand that logic at all. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Bella's interview with Julie, again, I like the fact that she did feel bad about what she said and things like that, but again, there's nothing she can really do about it. I hope she does get to make amends with Nicole and things like that, because I do think those two had a genuine friendship. It's just Bella, in the heat of the moment, didn't let her talk, and I think she knows. Like, I read an article, Bella knows that that was the problem, but again, she can't take back what she did. She was incredibly nasty. She was just very just unhinged and really just unnecessarily cruel on Nicole, and there was no reason for her to do what she did, especially since Nicole was trying to save her, and I think Bella does realize that, but again, I just think it's a little too late for her to come to that realization. And that's kind of how we end things this week. There's not really a lot more to talk about, and it's unfortunate because I really do think Cliff could have made a big move this week. He could have taken out Jack and stirred the pot in a big way in the house, and suddenly the 6 shooters would not feel as strictly to stick together. They would probably start to break apart a bit, and this would be a really good advantage for Cliff. He could start making alliances with more people in the house, but because of the fact that he's kept them together, now it's just going to keep going, and you know, I've heard on the live feeds them talk about how Jack and Christie are going to get to the end. Yeah, Cliff, you just determined it. You just determined your lifespan in this house. You're going not next week. I don't think he's going next week, but he's probably going in like 2 weeks. I don't see him lasting more than 2 more weeks in the house, and unfortunately, it's completely his own fault. I really wish he had not taken this deal. Again, yes, he probably would have left this week if he did, but he still would have impacted the game. He still would have done something that would change the course of the season, and unfortunately, I just don't think there's anything doing that at this point until they do inevitably get to that point where they're going to have to make some sort of sacrifice. But at that point, it will mostly be them anyway, so who even cares? I also feel like he made a mistake by not working as close with Nicole as he did. Yes, he did relay some information to her, but Nicole, I think, could have possibly been his closest ally. Here's what he should have done. He should have thought, okay, I'm back in the house. Who is in a vulnerable position right now? Well, Nicole is. Nick and Bella are. Let's work with them. Let's try to work out something. Let's try to get Bella and Nicole to make amends. Let's try to get them to bury the hatchet a bit. There is much more work he could have done here, and really just sticking by Nicole, letting her know what he's doing, and trying to get her. And I know on the feeds, like I heard something about Nicole trying to get Cliff to come to his senses a bit. But I just wish he would have listened to her. I wish he would have thought, like, maybe this isn't a good idea. I mean, he kept talking about how, oh, this isn't week 12. Dude, week 12 is literally the end of the season. You're not even going to get that far. You're certainly not going to do that now. You weren't going to in the first place, but you're definitely not going to now. He has very much sealed his fate in the house, and again, I just think there was a lot more work he could have done this season, but he just didn't want to take it. He took the easiest way out, and it's very much going to cost him now. I also don't really know what Christie is doing with this power at this point. It seems like she's using it for a last-minute opportunity. Like, if she gets targeted, she's going to use it. But here's the thing. How do you know when you're getting backdoored? Like, obviously, the thing is with Christie, she always thinks she's getting targeted. So when she actually is, she'll just not use it. It's probably going to be expired by then. So I honestly don't know if Christie's actually going to use this power at this point. Not next week, but the week after is literally the last week she can do it. And I don't know if she's going to do it. I really don't see any reason for her to use it now. And, again, she's going to be freaking out for nothing. I'm kind of happy that the power's gone because they've really amounted to nothing, and that's what I like in a Big Brother season, is when the power doesn't... I mean, I want the power to affect him, but not in a drastic way, so I kind of like that it's not doing a lot, but something like this... I do kind of want to see it shake up the game. It's just the wrong person got it, unfortunately, and that is sad because I feel like we could have had something really cool happen with this Diamond Power veto, but because Christie has it, someone who's just so paranoid constantly, it's just not going to work out at all. And again, I just don't see her using it anymore. Again, just not much to say here. I'm kind of done with this season. I'm going to keep watching just because I have to and because I review it for you guys, but I'm going to do it as an obligation at this point. And I hate it when we get to this point of Big Brother season, but that's really what it is. It's an obligation. It's not something that I want to do. It's not something that I really want to watch because it's just a terrible season, but I got to finish it. I've never not finished a Big Brother season. That's not going to be the case this year. So either way, guys, that's it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys saw this week overall. Left your thoughts in it. We'll see you guys in my next video, and we'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.